This is Tony Holler, and I'm here to announce the second episode of TFC Highlights. The Track Football Consortium was run back in December, and we had fantastic speakers. Brian Kula and JT Ayers will be highlighted in this YouTube. I want to say before I go any further that I get asked the question all the time: what lifting program best fits a Feed the Cats sprint program? And without a doubt, I endorse lifting for speed, mass-specific force. JT Ayers and Brian Kula have come together to produce this, and this is something that every coach should check out.
Okay, our Bounce Fire series, if I have a set of exercises that we've put together that I feel like is more something I came up with or put together on my own, it'd probably be the Bounce Fire series. Basically what we're doing in this series is teaching the athletes how to push through the foot. I don't know that always, we hear a lot of lift your knee, high knee run, and different cues that way, but rarely do we talk about pushing through the foot and getting full triple extension all the way down through the ankle. And so we take a progression from walking to running. It's unilateral in application, so we really get to kind of develop both sides of the body and really focus on a right or a left side as we go. We talk a ton about proper dorsiflexion. The cue we use is a loaded foot. We want to have a loaded foot that's ready to strike the ground and extend. And then the timing of that extension, that they're not reaching for the ground early with the toe. We talk a lot about front side mechanics so that we can get to kind of a down back punch in the acceleration phase especially. So we talk to them about shin angles and things like that. Proper recovery mechanics, where we want that heel to come up right through the hamstring in a nice straight line. So we're kind of eliminating backside mechanics. And it's also a great time to be working on their arm action, okay? Because they can literally get thousands of repetitions in without fatigue, and we can be talking through and cueing them in their arms. So we have it here. I'm kind of just going to let this run and walk through it just a little bit. It's been really well received in regards to how the systematic approach to it. But we just start with the walking drill. And again, the real focus here is that dorsiflexion. Okay, we would never strike on the heel in a sprinting action, but what we're teaching the athlete is to hold that flexion for a long time. Okay, then we progress to snapping, which again is just simply holding dorsiflexion, striking under the center of mass, and pushing through the foot. You can see Julie here in the video is doing a good job of pushing and holding and not bobbing off the heel. And then we start to get a little bit more active. So this is our bounce. Okay, great dorsiflexion, center of mass. We're looking for their chest to be slightly forward or a cueing of nose over toes. And they're just pushing themselves down the track effectively with their ankle joint, okay, pushing through that foot. Okay, we add intensity to it by going to a quick bounce. Again, only working through the feet here. Then we add a little bit even more intensity with a long bounce. Okay, so we're going to open it up a little bit here. Some people call this straight-legged bound. We continue to call it bounce because we really want them focusing on that ankle flexion. Tight skirts is just a little dexterity. Their change of movement is from long bounce to short bounce. Again, we're kind of ramping up and getting ready to run fast. So we're introducing that quicker movement here. Then we move into the fires, which is the unilateral. Okay, we're really working on pushing down and back, good dorsiflexed foot, good high heel recovery, and we're pushing down and back, that foot striking right under their hips. Okay, you can talk through their arms. Again, add a little intensity to it by going quick. Okay, the opposite leg is just swinging through. Okay, that's really a left leg focus here in this example. Toe to shin, and we're holding that dorsiflexion and then pushing through the foot. Okay, we progress to long fire. So now it's starting to look a little more like single leg running on one side. Again, we're not cueing the athlete to lift their knees. We're cueing the athlete to push through the ground and get a great high heel recovery, which puts them into a really good front side mechanic. Here's an alternating version. She's doing 3 on each leg. So she'll go 3 on the right and 3 on the left. We're asking the athlete to stay tall in the transition, not to lose their core or their posture. And they're really pushing from the center of mass. Striking under the center of mass and pushing through their foot. And this is just another variation of a single. So she's going to hit the right and bounce, bounce, and left bounce, bounce. Then we actually get into some running in it, but we continue to call it a fire. So she's going to fire left leg for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 reps and then bring in the right. And we talk to the kids about continuing to push, 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 and we stay in that fire mentality so that it looks exactly how we want it to look in regards to angles. Good negative shin angle.
Now, it's interesting when I watch McCaffery workouts and things, and this is something, this word is like popped into my head in the last year. Like we were saying earlier, we figure out different ways to describe what we do or characterize what we do. But I say now that in a feed the cats type of program that really may differ from one coach or one school to another, there's actually performing going on in practice. Mm-hmm. And when I watch McCaffery's stuff, it would be accurate to say that he performs in every workout.
His performance starts in his dynamic warm-up.
Yes. I mean,
that guy, I mean, to an almost sick level, he pays attention to every single thing that he does in a level of performance. And so that includes, a fly 10. I mean, this we had an extended off season this year with no mini camps, and so we took some time on the track, and he bought a pair of track spikes. And I mean, you watched him warm up and get ready for a fly 10 attempt. You would have thought he was lining up for the finals of the Olympic Games in the 100-meter dash. So 100% performance driven, which again, when you train at that level, the need to do more is not necessary. I mean, it's just not. And again, can I explain why scientifically? No. But I know the training matches the game that he plays. And then I have a 4-year history now that has watched him be, perform as well, if not better, than anybody else at his position.
I love that. And I think that when you say, okay, yeah, we perform every day in practice and we do at the high school level. When you say that, and then we go back to the way we went through high school practices, there was never a performance.
No.
I mean, in track, we were doing some maximal runs is not a performance.
Right.
In football practice, we were always tired from the day before.
Sure.
We were tough. Maybe we're both tough guys now from everything we went through, but I was never as fast as I should have been.
Marketing and branding. And these things are extremely important when you're talking about your culture. So what you do with the people that are in your community, but also the people that are outside. So it's important you think about, okay, within my school, how am I marketing the program? At Trabuco, my coaching staff and I try very, very hard and are intentional about the idea that we want to do, if you do track at Trabuco, if you're on the track and field team, that's like the coolest thing you can do. Our gear looks cool. Our announcements are cool. They see the coaching staff being energized. They see the awards. They see the things that are the accolades that are going out there. But we also are aware of the outside community as well. What do the bigger, larger track and field world in California, or if not in the nation, think about us? And what do our parents and other schools, the school district, and so forth? So here's one big aspect about the idea of marketing and branding is you need to give a reason to follow. And we've talked about that earlier. So this is one thing that we've done that has been really helpful is we've done 40-yard dashes for the entire school. I've probably done 10 to 15,000 40-yard dashes in the same spot, the same place, with the basketball program, the football program, soccer program, wrestling program, lacrosse. Well, not many people in lacrosse because no one likes lacrosse, but that's okay. What happens is I ask a coach, in their off season, just give me a date and I will take your team for an afternoon. And I quickly teach them about how to do a 40, and I measure it out, and I sit there and I just write out every single person that does a 40-yard dash multiple times. I rank the entire team with their grade. And so the basketball coach is extremely happy because now he knows who the fastest kid on his team is. The soccer coach wants to know who their fast kid is, and so forth. And the kids get really competitive. And not only that, but then as you look at this slide, you'll see that the first 3 kids in the football, basketball, soccer, and even baseball programs, those kids all do track now. Now, the baseball team, those kids will do track at the same time they do baseball, but we work it out with their coach, and we have created and sustained a way to look at the way that you can record, rank, and publish just within your school. Make sure your school knows, and you have to prove this to them time and time again, that you are the master of faster. This is what the outside of my window looks like in my classroom. Is I have all the programs and I rank them. And then not only that, but then I put all those together and I rank the entire school based on grade. And so you can know, hey, Mom, I'm the 13th fastest freshman in my entire school. That's meaningful. At every single snack break or lunch break, there's kids outside my window doing it. And then you'll have kids come up and say, hey, I'm in band or I'm in drama. Can I do it? I'm like, of course. Meet me at Tuesday at 4 o'clock. I'll be on the track. Can't wait. Tony, and a testament to you, Tony, you got on the phone with me and we talked for about 4.5 hours. We talked about, I remember pacing my classroom, just pacing around. And we were talking about chop wood, carry water. We were talking about feed the cats. You even said like soccer is the stupidest sport because it trains kids to be slow. And I thought that was the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life because my kids were all playing soccer
I think,
at the time.
Weren't you new to free lap at the time?
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, and I think, and then of course Chris's invention, the 23-second drill.
Oh, man,
You're big on that too.
Yeah, I didn't even know this whole TFC thing is not big in California. Hopefully it is now. You know, I see some of the names down there, some of my friends. What you guys are doing in the Midwest, in the East Coast, and it's some of the coolest stuff. I have grown more as a coach since the March in the COVID season basically happened than I have the previous 13 years, just because we've had opportunities with things like this. So, Tony, you talked to me forever. You mentioned RPR. I did some research into that. Now I'm fully into it, and we'll talk about the things I do with it now and the people that are engaged with it. But yeah, looking at Chris's stuff, looking at your stuff, you guys make things so available. I got introduced to Simply Faster and had the opportunity to write like 3 or 4 articles for them. The coaching tree that you two have, that's not the greatest legacy that you two will ever have. I don't know what is, because you're taking these young coaches like myself and giving us opportunities to grow and learn. Brian Kula last year in Chicago was talking about Christian McCaffery and was talking about the things he does and the weight lift and how he lifts. And then he mentioned my name because I wrote something in a Simply Faster magazine. And then you, at the moment, direct messaged me on Twitter and said, this Kula guy is mentioning your name. And I was like, who is this? And it's a Christian McCaffrey's coach. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the highlight of my life. This is great.